David Dixon has been along to one holiday park in North Cornwall to ask visitors whether they were considering their water usage.
So I'm here on a slightly windy afternoon with Patrick Langmaid from Mother Ivy's Bay. On a day like today, it's hard to imagine that we're technically still in drought, isn't it, Patrick?
It's unbelievable explaining that to the guests when it's pouring with rain, yes.
South West Water are asking us to preserve anything. Have you had any communication from them on that issue?
Well, funny you should mention that. We've had absolutely nothing from South West Water for visitors, so no information for us to pass on to visitors. We have had the same as every other household, which is a notice telling us we're still in drought, which I think every household in Cornwall's received.
What do we ask a visitor to do in terms of water preservation?
We ask them to do very little. I mean, they need to shower every day. They need to use the toilet facilities. There is very little we can ask them to do. They're not washing their cars, so there is a limit, and they're not doing their gardening. And indeed, that's the one aspect of the business that we've cut back on water, in that we are not watering in new planting as we've done it. We are leaving that now. We're not using sprinklers. We're not using hose pipes.
Anything you can do in terms of infrastructure or long term? Is there anything you can do that might cut down your water usage at all? I don't know, use slower showers, but I guess that would cheese the guests off, wouldn't it?
Well, funny you should mention that. One of the things we have introduced, and I was very, very doubtful about it at first, was waterless urinals. Absolutely fantastic. They get rid of odour because, and I hadn't realised this, the odour is created by men's urine and water mixing together. By getting rid of the water, we've actually cut back on our consumption, and we've
smells a bit fresher.
Made it nicer.
It takes a long time for a reservoir to fill back up again, and despite all the recent wet weather, reservoir levels are still 17% lower than they were last year in Cornwall. Let's hear what some of our visitors have to say. As we stand here in the pouring rain, did you know Cornwall's officially in drought?
It doesn't feel like it today, but I didn't know that. But it's not surprising. It was the driest February for however many years.
And that long dry summer as well.
Yeah. So I'm not surprised, but today it doesn't feel that way.
Did you know, guys, that Cornwall was in drought?
No, we didn't.
Seriously.
No.
Are you quite surprised by that, given the weather today?
Very surprised, yeah.
Yeah, very surprised.
Yeah.
Have you had drought up where you are? Did you have a hosepipe ban this summer up in Wales?
North Wales, I think there was a small time where there was hosepipe ban, but it's full now.
Yeah. And it's difficult to believe, isn't it, given the weather today, that we're actually technically in drought?
Well, it is.
You're soaked.
I am, yeah. Very difficult to believe, yeah.
Interesting that, isn't it? Now, by no means scientific, it's only 3 people there that David managed to speak to, but 3 people who had no idea that we were in drought. So coming here and maybe thinking, well, we'll just use water however we might do it back at home, and not realising the pressure that we have here. Interesting to hear those thoughts there. David Dixon reporting